I have to tell you about the day that I jumped the drawbridge on my motorcycle. Oh, I told you in my previous video that we were a little wild and reckless. Well, one day I wanted to go to the beach and nobody would go with me, so I was by myself. There were no witnesses to this incident, but I'll tell you, it really happened. You can't go to the beach in St. Petersburg without crossing some kind of the bridge. And they had just put in this new bridge, maybe a year previous, and it was a toll bridge, but it went right where I was wanting to go. And so I thought, well, I'll take the toll bridge and I'll go over to the beach and just have a good time. And it was a pretty nice bridge. It was a 4-lane, if I remember. And so I was putting along, and I was wearing just my bathing suit and some sneakers, no helmet, no gloves, no nothing, just as we usually were in the summer. And I come rolling up to the toll booth, because it was a toll bridge, and I pull a dime out of my pocket, and red lights are there flashing and blinking. You know, they had these red lights that are red, and when you put your money in, they turn green. And so I threw my dime in, and the red lights, there was one on each side that turned green down here, and so I began to gun the engine. Now you have to understand that all this happened in just seconds. And it takes longer to tell the story than what actually happened. And as soon as it was a timing thing, I threw my money in the basket and the lights went from red to green, and I gunned the engine, and then I see these other red lights. And I just thought, okay, I left and now the lights are red again. All this just went through my head, and never dawned on me that the drawbridge was beginning to open. But all these lights began blinking everywhere, and this alarm goes off, this bell kind of clang, 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 and I didn't think much of that either. All I could think of was getting to the beach, and I gunned the engine in first gear, doing one of those jackrabbit starts that I like to do. I took off real in a roar, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this big arm coming down. And I thought, what's that? And it had some lights on it too. And I kept on going. And about that time, it dawned on me, that arm was a drawbridge arm. And those lights were the lights telling me to stop. But it was too late to stop. I was already doing 20 or 30 mile an hour, gunning it and ready to shift into second. So I hit second gear and gunned the engine. And I noticed the bridge was starting to go like this. And I was on this part over here that was going up. I don't know, what am I going to do? If I stop, then what am I going to do? Am I just going to fall over because it's an incline? And so I thought, I'm just going to go for it. And I gunned the engine as fast as I could gun, and I hunkered down on the front of the motorcycle to lessen the wind resistance, and the bridge kept going up, 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 up like that. And I hit the end of the bridge, and boom, right across the gap. I was airborne for a split second, and I hit the bridge on the other side. And you know, I'd like to say it was 20 feet or 30 feet, but it was actually maybe 3 or 4 feet between the bridge. And I was really fortunate that it wasn't like this. Otherwise, I would have been in trouble. But it was either even or up a little like this. And I jumped that gap, and I started down the other side. And I guess have an intercom between the sides. They had attendants back then at these bridges. And so the attendant comes running out, and he's waving his arms like this. Oh, you idiot, you know, wants me to stop. I wasn't going to stop, not me. I went, shoo, I went right around the gate that had come down across the road, and I just kept going right on the beach. My heart was thump, 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 thump. But that was the day I jumped the drawbridge on my Zundap.